Once again, it's time for another Bob the Sign Man episode. Now on to the show.
Hello everybody, welcome to this exciting episode of Bob the Sign Man. Finally did it. Finally made a yield sign. Think, well, that's no accomplishment. Well, for me it is. I can never figure out how to get the corner radiuses in there. And I just kind of stumbled on it by accident. You know, a lot of the best discoveries are discovered by accident, and that's what happened to me. So I've struggled. I asked a lot of people. Nobody really knew how to make one. Some of them have it in their sign library, and they just printed it out. But I noticed all the borders were always off. Some of the signs that they make around the town I live in, they're off. And I see it, and it just kind of drives me nuts because it's like, if you're going to do something, do it right, you know. So I thought, well, I'll just put it on and I'll cut out the radius corners with the knife. And I thought, no, that's not doing it right. So, you know, like the old sign motto for me is, perfect is just going to have to be good enough for today. So let's jump into this exciting episode and see how I finally came across a way to make the yield sign. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this exciting episode, guaranteed. Okay, so this is the dimensions of a yield sign. So as you can see right here, this is 36 this way and 30 this way, but it doesn't quite measure out 36 when it's finished. 36 would be, see these points right here? Let me zoom in closer on them so you can see. So these points out here is where you would measure. So you'd measure here. This is my 0, 0 on my grid. And it goes all the way down there to so it comes down here to 36. So this is a 36, and then the end of the sign. So the end comes down to my grid line right here, which is 30 inches. So it's a 36 by 30 without the radius corners on it. So when they do the radius corners, it changes the dimension. Okay, now this particular size of the yield sign is going to have a 3/4 inch border all the way around. So what I did is I put a 3/4 inch border on, and I did it like this. I have these various sizes of these squares set up. This is set up for 3/4 of an inch. I just hung it over the edge a little bit here, and I went ahead and I did the border all the way to all three sides. I drew a 3/4 inch border. Okay, that one didn't quite come to the end. Okay, now I have my 3/4 inch border all the way around, and these points intersect a little bit too close there. So actually what I did then is I just kind of came out and just rounded these a little bit with my square. I just followed the contour of the outside edge with my square here a little bit. Just kind of follow them around to get just a general idea of where my radius corners were going to be. Okay, now I have my radius corners set up. So I'm going to go ahead and measure it out. I thought, well, I'll just measure it out and see what I get now. Okay, so I just put my straight edge ruler down where the corners are. And I'm roughly sitting at 32.5. So I wrote that down, 32.5. Okay, now I want to measure from the top here down to my corner radius. I'm sitting about 28.25. So 28.25. Okay, so now I'm going to take these measurements over to Flexi, and I'm going to try to cut out the outside of the yield sign. I just want to do a test to see how the borders work first before I put the lettering in and stuff. Let's go see how that turns out.
You know the sign man is going to nail it.
Okay, so I'm going to lay out my triangle, and if anybody who's ever messed with the triangles, I did the shape tool, and I'm going to go with the hexagon, or octagon, whatever. You can change the different number of sides. So I want 3 sides, and I could never get that thing perfectly straight. I think I got it this time. What I'll do is I'll bring down to check this. So that's straight. So now I have my triangle set up. But remember, I measured out the blank. I told you it was 36 by 30. Okay, so now I have my blank laid out. So when I highlight it, you can see it's 36 by 30. And now I thought, okay, well, let me do an inline trace on it and see if I can't figure out how to round those, since I don't know how to round these corners. So I just came up under my effects and I went outline, and this popped up. And I had just previously done a sign, and I needed a 3/8 inch border. I think I was doing a 36-inch stop sign or something like that. Anyway, so here's the 750, and it already went around. And I'm like, cool, it's already round. What if I just go inline and do it? Well, when you click inline, it makes it go point to point there, and I didn't want that. So I went back to the outline, and there we go. I thought, well, I'm going to try it. I'm going to print it and see what happens. I actually cut it out on my plotter. So I click the apply button. Okay, so now here we are. I'm just going to come in, and I am going to click everything, and I want to separate the outline. And then I'm going to uncompound everything so that I can just get rid of this inside. And now I have my outside. But it is going to be a little bit too big. See, it's 37 and 31 because I had done a trace around the outside of that. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to size this down to the size I need. Remember, I took those measurements, and it was 32.50, and then the bottom measurement was 28.250, 28 and a quarter. Okay, so there's my measurements, 32 and a half, 28 and a quarter. So let's send this off to the plotter and see what happens. I thought. So I'm going to put that in the center, and I'm going to send it off to the plotter.
All right, here it goes off to the plotter, and I'm cutting this out on EC to give it a little test. And here's what my test turned out like. Okay, now that I sent that off to the cutter, I'm going to go ahead and weed it out. Okay, now that I had it weeded out, I'm just going to test it on my blank. Of course, I don't have this sheeted yet or nothing, but I just want to see how it's going to turn out. So I needed 3/4 inch border, which I got here. I got 3/4 inch on this side, and I got 3/4 on this side. It actually turned out pretty darn good. Down
You nailed it, Sign Man.
1/10 of an inch. Up here, perfect. Up here, perfect. Up here, perfect.
My yield sign, sort of. Okay. Still needs a little work. It needs the inside part that says yield. And I thought, oh boy, how am I going to do that one? I thought, well, maybe I can do it the same way I did the other one. I thought, well, I got a better idea. So I came up to my sign library. Okay, and I grabbed a 36-inch yield sign, which I have right here. Whenever I use my sign library, I always copy them. I don't change them there. I don't try to open them up like that. So I'm just going to paste it over here. Okay, so I just want that inside there. So how am I going to do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to turn all this stuff into a wireframe. Just like that. So this is all I want, is this inside, but this is still all pretty much connected. So what I want to do is I want to come up here, select everything. I want to ungroup everything. Okay. And it's compounded, so I'm going to uncompound everything. So now I can start picking out the stuff I don't want. I don't want that. So these are probably going to be compounded together because this whole thing is red and the inside is white. So what I want to do is uncompound that. Okay. So I can probably get rid of this safely now. Okay, this inside here, this yield, I want to turn that to red because this white is going to show through on the top here. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just group these together then. And if I slide it over here, it's going to like slide it under the bottom. So what I want to do is I want to arrange that order to the front. Okay. But it's still, everything is red. So what I'm going to have to do then is turn that into white. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to ungroup everything. Okay. I'll come to here and I want to turn this white. And I'm going to turn off the wireframe and you can see how it came to the top now. So I want to go back in and I want to group everything together. So now I can slide the image on the top here and I have my yield. So this has to be 5 inches. This area here has to be 5 inches from the top here and centered, which it's not right now. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to do 4, 5 inches right there. Okay. So I'm just going to highlight all this and I'm going to bring this down to the top. Okay. And this I'm going to bring another grid line over to make it in the center because this emblem here in the middle of the yield sign has to be centered, which it is. Plus it has to be 5 inches from the top. Bring it down to the 5-inch grid line. And there we go. So I thought, oh boy, I'm onto something here. So I'm just going to go ahead and group everything together. And then I'm going to send that off to my cutter. I want to turn that facing up. And I want to center that. And let's send it off to the cutter.
Okay, got that cut out now. Place it on the blank. I don't have this sheeted yet with the white GG3, but needless to say, I was pleasantly surprised that it came out. I was expecting a little bit of trouble with it, but for some reason, I just got this idea in my head. Let me try this. After I found out how it did that outline, and I came out with the perfect yield sign. I've never been able to make them that good before. I've always had to buy them. So looks like we'll be making them in-house again. I've got several more here. I think, and it's something that, we don't use a lot of these. Like who pays attention to them anyways? Stop signs are practical yield signs anymore these days. Nobody stops at them. But anyways, had a problem for years. Finally, I just decided I'll give it another shot. I always revisit this all the time, and it worked. Like I said, when you're in trouble, just keep trying new things. Try new things, try new things. If that doesn't work, your only alternative, that's right, you just turn to the sign man. As always, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching this exciting episode. Bob the Sign Man is filmed in the beautiful Napa Valley. This video has been directed, edited, and produced by, you guessed it, Bob the Sign Man. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes coming your way. As always, thanks for watching.